Everybody is vulnerable at some point in their lives. For the victim in this case, her husband was ill, so she will feel very isolated, very alone.
One of the features that is common in a romance scam is that the criminal spends quite a bit of time getting to know the victim. They figure out what the vulnerability is, they really hone in on that. It's very manipulative.
If you're just that little bit receptive to that call, just at your weakest point, that's when you get caught out.
The victim was groomed over 11 months.
The scammer quickly identified that her husband was ill and unfortunately used it to their advantage.
Romance fraudsters will quite often declare love early on in the relationship, making it feel special, making it feel intense, and drawing that victim into that heady excitement that you'd have in ordinary relationships.
The scammer claimed that due to being overseas for work as an army general, that he couldn't access his account.
Secrecy and isolation and urgency are the three key tools of romance fraudsters. So they'll make themselves appear vulnerable, they'll make themselves appear human. The victim feels very much responsible for the psychological and also physical well-being of the fraudster.
They put someone under their spell, and it's hard to break that spell.
Our job is to try and make sure we protect the customers 24/7.
Account activity was out of character for this customer. The payments were quite frequent and they were a much higher value than what she would usually make.
What often happens with customers is that they need to move money quickly, usually because they're under pressure from a scammer who have got them well trained what to say when we ask more probing questions.
Bank staff contacted the scams team, but the victim fled the branch.
Usually a family member or the police who go and visit the customer and explain that they're in a scam. And at that point, the humiliation for the customer is enormous.
This is a devastating thing that will have happened to them in their lifetime that they will never forget.
And this happens day in, day out in banking. And that's why it's so important that we try and stop the scammers. You're dealing with professionals. These are actors at the top of their game to get your money.
There are many similarities between romance fraud and domestic violence and coercive control. Victims may feel shame, isolation, loneliness, and also a complete break from their family and friends and other support systems.
So it is very pernicious, it's very abusive, it's very psychological, and it's devastating for a victim.
But when somebody is in love, and I mean really in love, it takes an incredible amount of effort to break into that chain. We're just glad we've stopped it, we're glad we've interjected, and we try and support the customer through that.
We invest to make sure every single person at HSBC is getting training and being made aware of financial crime risk, because we count on every single person at HSBC to be a part of the solution.